You're listening to the Common Fan Podcast, a Husker football podcast for the common fan, by the common fan.
Welcome back to the Common Fan Podcast. I am TJ Burkle, as always, alongside Matty Owens Sr. and Geoff in Lincoln. Hey, get to the Common Fan website, www.commonfan.co. Sign up for the newsletter. It's free. Subscribe on YouTube. It's free to do that too. And follow all of our social media accounts. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and generally just keep up with all the fun and frivolity of the Common Fans. That's www.commonfan.co. You can also get your Common Fan socks. Go to silliesco.com, SILLIESCO.com, silliesco.com. Use the promo code GBR for life. That's GBR number 4 LIFE. Matty O is showing the beautiful red and black versions of the Common Fan socks.
Jeff's got a one up me. I'm wearing them.
I'm wearing a pair. Yep. Love it. If you don't have Common Fan socks, you're missing out.
Were those slippers?
Go to silliesco.com and get yourself some Common Fan socks. You get 25% off with GBR for life promo code. You can get 25% off the whole site, not just the Common Fan socks. Last thing, go to cpbeef.com. The best Nebraska beef you can find anywhere.
Succulent.
And you can get 25% off there using the promo code Common Fan, all one word, Common Fan, for succulent Nebraska beef.
Succulent, discounted meat. Beef. I know some of our audience loves the term discounted meat.
It's not discounted meat.
Succulent discount meat.
It's premium premium Nebraska. Gosh dang it! It's premium Nebraska beef that you can get at a.
I'm just giving the people what they want.
Reduced price. Thanks to the Common Fans. God dang it, Jeff!
High quality premium beef at a lower price.
At a lower price. You're already throwing us off, Jeff.
Discount meat.
This is why you're not in marketing, Jeff. Discounted meat.
That's like a picture, like a small town grocery store with like the neon letters on the front window. Discount meat.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're already a week into spring ball, and if you wanted some Kool-Aid to like just really guzzle some for the off season, a data point to help you guzzle some off season Kool-Aid. It's here's one. Pick Six Previews, great Twitter follow. Pick Six Previews, just fully devoted to college football.
National. That's like a national.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. 14 programs signed a top 25 high school class and a top 25 transfer class. There's some big names on here, guys. Alabama is on here. Oklahoma is on here. Yeah. USC is on here.
Yeah.
Oregon's on here, Florida State, LSU. Did I say LSU? Anyway, Michigan's on here. You know who else is on this list? You know who else is on? A lot of good programs on here. You know who else is on here?
Who?
I don't know.
The Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Nebraska.
You don't say.
Get the heck out of here.
Respectable programs.
Yeah, top 25 high school class and a top 25 transfer class. So if that doesn't,
the Irish on that list?
National championship. Excuse me.
Notre Dame on that list? I'm just curious.
I don't see Notre Dame.
I don't think they're on the list.
Okay,
they didn't make it. They didn't.
They're not on the list.
I was just wondering.
Not on the list.
No big deal. I was just checking.
Yeah, you're gonna be all right. Don't flip out.
I'll be fine.
Okay, good. One more thing, guys. We're going to talk about the Nebraska's wide receiver room. It might be the most exciting, position group and the most exciting group of wide receivers the Huskers have had in a long time. But I saw this thing that Illinois head coach Brett Bielema did. This guy, I hate it. I hate him when Nebraska loses to Illinois. But
I already know where you're going to go with this.
He's pretty dang funny. Have you seen this guy on social media who does this morning routine?
Yeah, like everybody's copying it now.
Yeah, he's just ripped
dipping the face in ice.
Dips his face in ice.
Ice water.
And washes his face with the banana peel. And it doesn't appear that he actually does anything other than take videos of himself. But anyway, so a lot of people have been having lots of fun with this gentleman and kind of making fun of it. So if you go to Brett Bielema's Twitter account, he posted something. Day 1,558 as Illini head football coach, spring practice for prep. And he's basically mocking this guy's video. He's putting his face in a bowl of ice and then he puts his whistle on and it's pretty funny. So if you have encountered this video that's gone, of this guy or people making fun of it or whatever, Brett Bielema did. So he used the same water that the guy uses, that he pours bottled water in.
TJ,
it's like expensive water, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Nebraska football put one out, and it was our program favorite Heinrich Harburg doing.
I saw that. I did.
I totally missed that.
And that was
you gotta check it on Instagram.
And that was
so everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it.
That was before I knew what they were even parodying. Like,
same. And it's like a viral trend thing. It was very good. You got to see William Wallace do it. It's like,
as much as people are making fun of this guy, this is like the best thing that could have happened to him.
Oh yeah,
everybody's doing it, right?
You got some pub.
Oh my gosh! All right. So today we're going to do a deep dive into Nebraska football's wide receiver room. I'm not sure. I don't want to promise that we're going to go through every position group, but I think we'll try to do these from time to time, going into some of the most interesting position groups on the team. I think wide receiver is one that everybody's excited about. And I was going to say something else. I totally lost it. But anyway, so we're going to talk about the wide receivers today. This is not the beginning of a series where we go through every position group or anything like that. We are going to try to do this for some other position groups. But even if we don't get to that, because we have some guests lined up and some other exciting things going on, everybody wants to talk about the wide receivers. Am I wrong?
No.
Everybody wants to talk about the wide
receivers.
Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, it's Hollywood. It's Jeff
the funnest
London.
Position to watch. It's the funnest position out there. Big plays. That's the wide receiver.
It's sexy.
That's what it's all about.
It's a sexy position.
So we're gonna go deep dive. So there's so much new at this position, starting with the coaching staff, right? So if you start with Dana Holgorsen, yes, he started with 3 games to go in the regular season in 2024, but a relatively new offensive coordinator. And then in the offseason, Holgorsen went and got his guy, Daikel Shorts, who played for him and coached with him at a couple of his different spots. Shorts was most recently the wide receivers coach at Kentucky. And Holgorsen, that was the one major change Holgorsen made, right? Yeah. So he didn't change out all the position group coaches, but he clearly believes in Shorts and what he can bring to the program. And Shorts immediately delivers, right? And he brings 2 transfers with him from Kentucky. The big name guy is Dane Key, and also Hardley Gilmore IV. So I think we'll go through this. We're not going to talk about every single wide receiver, but we're going to go through it by grade or by age or whatever you want to call it. So class. There you go. So the only senior on the list is Dane Key, transferred from Kentucky. And let's see. So this is any stats we reference are from Huskers.com. So it's legit. So over 3 years at Kentucky, Key played in 38 games, started 35 of them. So huge production, all the way back to his freshman season. Caught 126 balls for 1,870 yards and 14 touchdowns. Just in 3 years at Kentucky, he's 5th all time on the receptions list and 13th in career receiving yards. I mean, this is a guy you bring in and you say this is a day one. Like, we're bringing him in to start. We're bringing him in to start.
He's one of the guys. He's one of the main guys.
Bring him into play.
We're main character.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just excited, guys. Last year it was Jamal Banks and Isaiah Nair. And this year, it's a few guys to choose from, and we'll get to more of them. But any thoughts on Dane Key?
Yeah, I think anytime you're able to bring in somebody that's on another school's all-time list for anything, that's generally a really good addition, right? Right. And then you think about, okay, he's also was doing that against the SEC, which it wasn't and no knock against some of the FCS level guys we brought in, like Samari Toure and things like that, where he's doing it in Montana or somewhere like that. This is Kentucky. This is playing SEC teams. And granted, they did not have a great offense last year, and he still had a really productive season. In spite of, I don't think they had a real good quarterback to get guys the ball, but it's impressive, for him to be able to do that and then add a guy like that that's got a ton of experience against that level of competition. Really excited about Mr. Key.
I echo anything to add to that?
I echo those exact sentiments.
You
I was
took your
going to say the
sunglasses off,
SEC.
Jeff. Damn it.
I can't see. I'm trying to read my phone. I can't see this. I'm blind. For the love of God. But I guess Hollywood comes at a cost. I'll put him back on in a second. I was going to say the same thing as Owens, though. Playing in the SEC, you're getting a baller there regardless of what SEC team you're playing for. It's a great conference. It's a tough conference. We all know this. So it's going to be awesome to see what this dude has the ability to do here with Nebraska when he's got our boy Dylan, a competent quarterback, throwing to him. So it's pretty freaking exciting.
No doubt. Just another data point tidbit to keep the Kool-Aid flowing throughout this episode. Just a few days ago, Steve Merrick, who is a Rivals reporter, tweeted they were talking to players after one of the practices. Nebraska safety Marquez Buford Jr. on the Huskers wide receivers, quote, "Our receiver room is elite, to say the least." So very exciting coming from a seasoned veteran in Nebraska's defensive back room. All right, moving on to the juniors. There's a few guys on here. We'll name them all. We're not going to talk about every single player. Cooper Hausman, Roman Mangini, Hayes Miller. Guys that haven't moved the needle that much or seen the field a lot. But this guy, the one junior who has, is one of my favorite Huskers, Janiran Bonner. Okay. So after position, this is from Huskers.com, position switch from fullback to wide receiver. Bonner played in all 13 games as a sophomore. He started 3 of them, caught 11 passes for 67 yards and 1 touchdown, rushed twice for 11 yards and another touchdown. I'll be honest with you, 11 passes and 67 yards, I would have guessed more than that. It felt like every time he made a play, it felt like every time Bonner made a play, it was a high impact play, right? It was getting a first down. It was like a, neat formation, right? That worked. I don't know. Like he's kind of like in that. He was a fullback, so he's a little bit of a bigger guy. It kind of lines up as like an H-back or tight end sometimes. And I'm just really excited. I think Holgorsen is the type of guy who can be really creative with a guy like Bonner. And I think he's actually set to thrive even more here in his junior season.
Yeah, like a Swiss Army knife kind of guy. Like you know, it's one of those just a football player. You put him anywhere and get him the ball. I mean, the way he would run with the ball was like, oh my God, get out of his way or he's going to kill you. So you want to figure out ways to get a guy like Harbor, a guy like Bonner, where you can move those guys around and they're smart enough to be able to know, different sets and positions and things like that. I'm all for getting this guy the ball more. I really loved kind of what they did I guess I would have thought maybe more than 11 catches too, but he also had some runs, I think. But yeah, I love it. Let's get Bonner more involved.
TJ, what you brought up there kind of piqued my interest was when his lack of yards, but like you said, he's getting first downs, and that's important. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't care if he's got low yardage, whatever. You got to win games. You got to get first downs. And you brought it up with like running, like you need to convert. If you're in a third down situation, this is the guy that you can throw it to that's going to convert. If you're like 3rd and 8, even 3rd and long, this is the guy you can throw to convert those first downs. So, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah from Geoff and Lincoln.
Hell yeah.
I think the most exciting group of the just because it's the biggest group of contributors probably is the sophomores. Okay. So first back is Jacory Barney Jr. Played in all 13 games as a true freshman last year. Only started in 4. I would have guessed he actually started more, but 55 passes for 447 yards. That tied the school record for receptions by a freshman. He rushed 10 times for 130 yards, 13 yards a carry, guys. I mean, that's
electric.
Electric. 3 touchdowns. And then he returned 14 kickoffs for 285 yards and also returned a few punts. So he led the Huskers with 55 receptions. And then ranked second on the team with 842 all-purpose yards. 3rd nationally among all FBS freshmen in receptions. And so he's a guy like no one needs to be convinced, right? An incredible athlete, made tons of big time plays for us last year, huge upside. And what we talked about so many times last fall, not the biggest guy and a true freshman, playing his first big time college football, the guy would get lit up.
That's what I was.
And he would always bounce back up. You go for it, Matteo.
Well, I just think he's got to, he's incredible. Let me just say that right off the bat. but he's got to figure out a way to not get absolutely freaking murdered when he's running the ball. And then, like, I don't know, it's always seemed like he's trying to make one more move, and that just gets him just lit up. So he's got a little bit of that like high running style kind of Marcus, or what is his name? Remember Maurice Washington kind of had his high running style, and when he'd get hit, it was like, oh my God. So he's got to figure out, I think, a way to get a little more slippery at the end of a play and avoid those big hits and avoid that big contact. But like you said, it happened a lot last year, and he would bounce right back up, throw a first down, signal, and back in the huddle. So, but I would like to see Jacory maybe figure out a way to not get murdered when he's running the ball.
I think, TJ, you kind of alluded to it, but the one word that pops into my head is proven. We know what this guy does. We know what he's capable of. I think this is the one receiver that we can all sit back and comfort and say, this is going to be a dude that's going to make some big plays this year. The one thing that I'm shocked about is the numbers you threw up there about returning kicks. Like, I thought last year we just quit doing that. I thought we weren't doing that anymore, but apparently he was out there still fielding kicks and running the football. So good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him. We need a nickname for Barney. As far as we don't have maybe there is one amongst the team, but we'll
figure it out.
Something for that guy.
We'll come up with something for Barney. The guys like Lightning. I don't think Lightning is the nickname, but we got to come up with something.
There's going to be something name related, and not the purple dinosaur, because there's nothing intimidating about that.
No, and also there's probably a lot of new, like, cool cultural stuff that we don't even know about that the kids are talking about that probably something like we're well into our 40s now. We don't know
no cap TJ.
No cap.
Exactly.
What does that mean again? I forget. They're not lying.
I think that means like unlimited. I don't know.
I think it means unlimited.
I don't know.
No cap.
I don't know. I have no clue.
We don't know. Cap
on it.
Riz.
No cap on it.
None of us know. Skibbity Riz. All right.
God.
What the Sigma?
What's the Sigma?
Over 50 sect of our audience just absolutely tuned out.
Yeah,
turned it off.
We're coming back to the wide receivers audience.
All right, we're back.
All right, next, Nyziah Hunter, guy transferred from Cal, spent 2 seasons at Cal before he transferred to Nebraska. So he redshirted his first season, and then had some great numbers as a redshirt freshman. Caught 40 balls, 578 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he led Cal in receiving touchdowns. He caught at least 1 pass in all 12 games, with multiple receptions in 11 of those. So pretty exciting stuff. A friend of the program, Jim in Minnesota, retweeted out just this Jim guy, by the way, good friend of the program. He is up on everything. He seemingly reads everything, listens to every podcast, and always has some good, insightful commentary. So
he knew me from the Jim Rome show.
Good follow. Jim. Yeah, that's right. Well, a lot of people do, Jeff. Good follow for Husker fans. Anyway, he says, I don't think we're talking about Nyziah Hunter enough, about wide receiver Nyziah Hunter, average 14.5 yards a catch, with 5 TDs as a freshman. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. And this was in response to a tweet that Hunter put out: spring ball next week, time to prove it again. So this was a little bit in advance of spring ball. The guy looks the part, guys. He's put up some stats at big time. Well, I don't know if Cal's big time, but at an FBS program. Like, he's done it with live bullets against good competition. And, he's another guy I think we can be really excited about.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend to know a heck of a lot about him. But again, the numbers, got experience, and the size alone, that build, 6'2", 210. Yes. Like that. That's like Deebo Samuel, like, size and build. So it'll be really fun to see. I mean, we think Dane Key's one of the guys, right? I don't know if we talk about X positions, XYZ, whatever. But we know Dane Key's one of the guys. It'll be so interesting to see who, like, the other, like, 2 or 3 main guys are, because there's so many guys to choose from. This is fantastic, guys. We've never had an embarrassment of riches like this.
It's a great problem to have.
And I was going to say, what Dylan said about this wide receiver room: bunch of Ferraris and Lamborghinis. That's what he said. And I quote,
I'm going to talk about Hollywood. I got to put the sunglasses back.
Yeah, you do. You do, Jeff.
Bunch of Ferraris and Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Speaking of which, we'll keep right on rolling.
Let's do it. Let's keep
the
going.
Next guy, back to the Daikel Shorts impact, Hardley Gilmore IV. Okay. And he's got 3 seasons left of eligibility. He only played 1 season at Kentucky before transferring to Nebraska. Kind of modest production, 6 catches for 153 yards, but he averaged 25.5 yards per catch. And that's after missing the first 5 games. So that was another contributor there too. And you guys remember BC, Brian Christopherson told us, he said, I don't even, like, we asked him about sleepers and he brought up Gilmore. He said, I'm not sure he's even considered a sleeper, but he might have the highest ceiling is what BC said. And he pointed out that Gilmore was only 16 when he committed to Kentucky. And the folks in Lexington, is Kentucky in Lexington? I think it is. Yeah. The folks in Lexington were pretty upset and pretty disappointed when he decided to leave for Nebraska. So, and you have to figure Shorts knows as well as anybody what this guy can do. Right. The other thing BC said is, quote, I've heard he's a real workhorse and he's gained weight since he's been here already. I know that. And I definitely think he is going to be one to watch. And BC brought Gilmore up as he kind of went on to say, he sort of floated the idea that Gilmore might be the guy that can take the top off the defense.
Yeah.
And I think that, which, I'm not sure we've really had that since Trey Palmer. We had several times last year where defensive backs seemed to be beat and they did get pass interferences called on them. So, maybe, Nair and Banks were kind of that guy sometimes, but I don't know that we've really had a guy that you can bank on just completely taking the top off the defense since Trey Palmer. And BC I love it. Gilmore could be that guy. Go ahead, Jeff.
I love it. It's a good sign when another fan base is upset when somebody from their state leaves. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, and Husker fans are included in this. If somebody from Nebraska were to go somewhere else, if that hurts. But a lot of times, if they're not that great, you're like, oh, good, you can have them, fine, move on. But if they're upset that he's leaving, I think we've got something really, really good coming our way. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
well, it's like us being a little bit peeved about the majority of our defensive line taken off, right? Like we were freaking out for a little bit there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean another guy that, and I think Coach Shorts actually referred to Gilmore as, quote, a dog. So like when you have a coach who's done it, and like Shorts, and like 3 or 4 year starter, I think he was. I think Dana said something about that this week. Who refers to one of his guys as a dog, like he's probably a dog. So that's encouraging too. Again, like with so many guys, a lot of mouths to feed.
That's right.
Workhorse. TJ, you said, I love it. Grinder. That means they're there to do a job and they do it. They know what they're supposed to do and they do it, damn it.
Keep naming workhorse.
Grinder.
Professional.
Well, and I think, guys, Key and Hunter with his size and Gilmore with his size and speed, they all seem to be outside guys, I guess. I think, you got Jacory in the slot. I think most of those other guys are outside guys. I hope BC also made the point to us that we do this every year where we're looking at the roster and it's like, I think they got like 8 or 9 guys they're going to have to get the ball to. How are they going to do this? And by October, November, it's like, if this one guy is injured, we have nobody to throw to.
Yes. And then there's a walk-on. There's a walk-on from Weeping Water that's starting in the slot.
Exactly. So hopefully a lot of these guys pan out. I think a lot of them have showed the production at the highest level, so we have reason to be optimistic. Yeah. So another guy that's really intriguing to me, fellas, and he's kind of not being talked about as much, I don't think. There was tons of hype around Demitrius Bell in the spring of 2024. And he was like, I think even more, like, I remember his name was mentioned along with Barney, like these 2 guys, watch out, right?
Yeah.
And he would have also been a true freshman last year. Injury in the 2024 spring game. Blew out his knee, I think. He's still out for spring practice in 2025. And so at least that's what that's the latest I read. He's got a green jersey on. But Steve Merrick, again from the Rivals account,
Steve-O,
retweeted a pic that Bell posted of himself at one of the workouts saying, best not to forget about wide receiver for Demitrius Bell for the fall. Look, we're the Common fans. We don't have any inside intel here, but I'm really interested and intrigued to see if we're talking about the transfers. We're talking about Barney. We're going to talk about some of the true freshmen. Hopefully all those guys are contributors. Don't get me wrong, but I'm really interested to see if Bell kind of reemerges in the conversation as well.
Yeah. And you really want, like, if it just kind of stinks for some guys, I think like he could have really made an impact last year. And now we've got so many more guys. So you just kind of hope that he can get, his opportunities and chances with all, so many more bodies involved in the wide receiver room. You just hope that he didn't kind of miss his chance, you know what I mean, to make an impact, just because now there's so many mouths to feed, guys.
Yep. Exactly. Do you have anything on that front?
You got to find a way to stand out. Like Owen said, we've got a lot of people to throw the ball to now. So it's unfortunate that happened to him last season, but I have high hopes for this kid. I hope he does well.
Love it. Also, Husker Online had a few tidbits after Thursday's practice, and one of their takeaways was the wide receiver room is impressive. One guy they mentioned was Jaden Doss, actually. So Doss was a wide receiver in 23. He switched to defensive back in 2024. He redshirted in 23. Now he's back to wide receiver in 2025. And so one of the things Husker Online said, Jaden Doss made a nice catch on a slant against tight coverage from transfer corner Andrew Marshall. So that's exciting about Doss. They also, this Husker Online blurb also mentioned Kentucky transfer wide receiver Hardley Gilmore, who we mentioned. You can just sense the confidence he already carries himself and that he's come here to play. So I love that. They got a few more blurbs in this Husker Online quote that I'm going to come back to. So the redshirt freshman group is interesting. There's DJ Smith and DJ Singleton. Neither of them contributed a ton last year. And then there's Quinn Clark, this guy from Bozeman, Montana. Here's what Husker Online had to say about him. If you're picking guys to get off the bus first to impress people, you might start with Quinn Clark. The redshirt freshman receiver is listed at 6'5" and 205 and is all of that. And the guy's got legit speed. And I remember when Holgorsen took over, like right at the beginning, when he was doing like press conferences and he would like read people's numbers because he didn't even know their names yet. He made a point that we've already identified one guy who basically hasn't been seeing the field much that we think can help us right away. And I don't know that we ever
heard who it was.
I don't know if we ever heard who it was, or like no one like flashed on the scene enough those last 3 games to really figure out what he was talking about. But a lot of people were saying maybe it's Quinn Clark, right? So I think there's a lot of optimism about this guy, and he's another guy that I'm really excited to see. Can he emerge? Can he contribute right away, right?
Yeah. He's tall. Throw the ball to that guy and let him get it.
Yeah,
love me a good tall wide receiver.
Yeah, throw him a jump ball.
Let him get it.
Little fade route, corner of the end zone.
Well, it's interesting. Rule and Holgorsen have both talked about how they're not changing the offense a ton from what they were doing before. And, that kind of gives me a little bit of indigestion. And, I think that, but I'm just going to trust that, Holgorsen. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. Holgorsen is like, simplifying it, focusing on what they can do really well, and also offering his own little wrinkles.
Yeah.
One thing they are talking about changing, and Raiola has commented on this too, is the 2-minute offense, which has been atrocious at Nebraska since, I don't know, the second Bush administration, maybe.
Era.
The 2-minute offense has just been terrible for the longest time. And like, how many times going back to the Riley or Frost eras, did we have the ball with a chance to win? Usually because we had just given up the lead before that. But how many times do we have the ball with a chance to win and not able to get the job done? So you just wonder if a guy like Quinn Clark could carve out a role for himself in something like a red zone offense or a 2-minute offense where you can throw him up, you can go get some jump balls when you need a first down, you need a touchdown kind of thing.
Did you go ahead, Owens? Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was just going to point out in this podcast already, multiple people have referred to Nebraska as elite and impressive. Those 2 words have already been used in this podcast today. That's pretty impressive, dudes. that is elite and impressive. That they're referring to Nebraska as elite and impressive. When's
Who
the last
is?
time you've heard those words?
Who's saying these things? Many
TJ.
people?
Yeah, many people are saying this. TJ's mentioned it twice already.
All the people I'm quoting.
Elite.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yes.
It's exciting.
It's out
Jeff.
there.
It's exciting.
It jives with, a cynical Husker fan might say, this is what they always say. And this, jives with us winning the off-season national championship. But I'm going to choose to believe, like I always do. I'm going to choose to get sucked in and believe what everyone is saying and believe that we're going to the playoffs.
I read whatever I read on Twitter and the internet. I just believe. You're right. So
I know you do. I know you do. Twitter and the internet and National Enquirer. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. Got to throw the National Enquirer in there. And nothing but facts in there. No, I just think I get that. I get the cynical Husker fan saying, let's wait until we're a few games in to decide how good this receiver room is. But like some of the guys are, like we talked about it. Some of these guys are proven and they're experienced.
Yeah.
Like there's so many guys now. You can't tell me 3 or 4 of them aren't gonna pop and there might be even 5 or 6. I mean, there's just so many guys that are gonna get opportunities. I can't see a scenario where we're sitting here in October or November and being like, God, what the hell were we talking about? These receivers are terrible. Like I just don't see it happening. So my glass is more than half full. It is 3/4 to 4/5 full.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a tall cup.
And yes, I just used 2 fractions, 2 different fractions. Actually 3, half, 3/4, 4/5.
All right, boys, moving on to the true freshman. I mean, I think the most exciting one is Cortez Mills, who
I just like the name.
We've talked about before, and he was a longtime Oklahoma commit that we peeled away from Oklahoma, consensus 4-star across the board. And here's what BC said about Cortez Mills. He compared him to Jacory Barney. He said they're very similar. And then he went on to say wide receiver is going to be interesting because you've got the new portal additions like Dane Key and Nyziah Hunter and Hardley Gilmore and Jacory, obviously. But I do think there's still space for a freshman to make his mark. And I think if that's going to happen, I think folks are thinking it's going to be Cortez Mills, right?
Yeah.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Any
thoughts on Mills?
I mean, I do. I think we talked about him a little bit in one of our last pods. Very, very highly rated receiver recruit. Like, yeah, I didn't realize like he's like the 3rd or 4th highest receiver recruit we've ever had. Like it was like Tyjon Lindsey and some other guy, and then it was Cortez Mills. So he's coming in with a lot of hype and a lot of I don't know what you want, a lot of je ne sais quoi. No, I don't have a ton to say about Mills, but I do have. I think you're going to get to this next guy. He's been talked about a lot this week. Another true freshman, so he might compete with Mills on if there's going to be just one true freshman. I don't know if it's a given we give it up to Mills.
He's just the name alone. It just reeks of Hollywood. I love it. He's going to do.
It is
awesome.
a great receiver's name.
I'm gonna call it right now. He's just going to be probably one of our most outstanding wide receivers this season. He's going to make a lot of noise. I'm predicting it right now.
I'm predicting I'm probably going to be calling him Tez by like halfway through the season.
Tez.
Everyone who's close to him calls him Tez.
Really?
Is that true?
No, I don't know.
Are you making that up?
Wow. I don't know. I totally made that up. So another guy, guys, in the true freshman room is Isaiah Mozee.
There it is.
I thought that's who you were referencing, Matteo. Another 4-star wide receiver, and is the son of Jamar Mozee, who's on the staff of the Nebraska football team. So he's from Missouri. I want to say he's from the Kansas City area, Lee Summit, right? Is that Kansas City? Yeah. So I think he's the other guy. You're right, Matteo. If you're going to see a wide receiver bust out, he's the other guy that's probably the most likely. A true freshman wide receiver, that is. He's the other guy that's most likely.
Yeah. He's been. I saw a nice catch he made in practice this week. I can't remember who tweeted it out, but it was all like Isaiah Mozee turning heads. I can't remember who. Somebody tweeted about how it was the Tim Verghese guy. You see tweets from him?
Yep.
Yeah. He tweeted something about all these receivers and Isaiah Mozee's turning heads. So I was like, oh, okay.
The other guy you hear about, guys, is Jeremiah Jones. And what you continuously hear about him is what an excellent athlete he is. Also, he's 6'4", 215.
Jeez, we got
And
some big
played,
boys.
yeah, and
Beast.
excelled on both sides of the ball in high school. So he could be a sleeper to watch as well, fellas. I don't want to pretend I've watched film on any of these true freshmen, especially. Some of the older guys we've at least watched them play, or they have
Right.
numbers at other places. I
Right.
don't want to pretend that I'd like to think that our common fan regular listeners think of us sitting in the common fan headquarters that looks similar to like the ESPN headquarters,
Mm-hmm.
just watching film
Yeah.
and doing research on the
Mhm.
Nebraska football team. And that's what we do, common fans. Don't worry. That's what we
Yeah.
do. But we also have wives and children and day jobs. So sometimes we don't always get to as much film as we would like. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
And
not
by
always.
by that I mean we don't watch any film. But we do sit, there is a common fan headquarters, and it is
Yeah.
full of Nebraska
Yeah.
football.
The control
watching
room.
memorabilia. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Last one on the true freshman list is Jackson Carpenter. Again, we'll see how this group comes together. Other thing from this Husker Online blurb, just general thoughts. It's hard not to be excited about Nebraska's wide receiver room. That group is loaded with with impressive athletes and speed. We got a taste of what that group could be during some one-on-one passing drills with the DBs. Then they specifically named Jacory, Barney, Cortez Mills, and Isaiah Mozee. All had some nice plays during. So that's pretty exciting. One other thing, guys, back to our friend Jim in Minnesota. This was about a week ago, and he referenced Steve Sipple, who's a longtime Journal Star guy and is at Husker Online now as well. So I don't know if he read this somewhere or if Sipple, Sipple's on the radio a lot too, and he does podcast stuff. I don't know where Sipple mentioned this, but Jim tweeted that Sipple's top 4 wide receivers in order are Dane Key, Nyziah Hunter, Hardley Gilmore, and Jacory Barney.
Mhm.
This was before spring ball even started. I think that tells you how high the staff is on Key, Hunter, and Gilmore, the 3 transfers in particular. I'd have a hard time, again, just me, not having watched a lot of film. I don't know how you put somebody like Gilmore in front of Jacory Barney, just given the differences in production. But I think also even if that, like, however that pans out, if you're listing Barney as number 4, and that's like your level of expectation and excitement about the room, even if Barney ends up as a top 2 guy in the wide receiver room, it sounds like all 4 of those guys can play, and 3 of them are brand new from the transfer portal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a nice problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, I mean, I think, again, we've got to see it on the field, and Husker fans are sick of getting burned for the last however many years. But, I mean, fill in the blank. This is the most exciting wide receiver group since
ever for Nebraska.
a long time.
Right.
Doesn't happen. I'm trying to remember. We had what was it, about 2012, 2013? No, 2012. It was Kenny Bell, Quincy Enunwa. I don't know. Like, I mean, we got to see it with production. I feel like for a few years there. Then, Westy and Kenny Bell overlapped for a few years. Mm-hmm. Did Enunwa overlap with Westerkamp? I can't remember. And then Westy overlapped with Stanley Morgan. So we had some years there where we had at least a couple of top guys.
But always like 1 or 2 guys only.
Yeah,
though.
and then you'd mix in like a Brandon Riley, or some other guys who were regular contributors. But if all of these guys pan out like we think they will, I don't know that we've had wide receivers like this since forever. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you go back to the Pelini era too. We had like Niles Paul and Brandon Kinney was like a couple there were some good receivers back then. But yeah, not to this level of depth and hype and expectation. It's something that we haven't really had a lot of experience with as Husker fans.
That's right. That's exactly
with the wide receiver room.
And you pair it with
a quarterback. I was going to say, just pair with a quarterback.
And that's
quarterback that's highly touted. So
that's what I think. There's being like a real concerted effort to be like, let's take advantage of these 2-3 years we have with Dylan left and get him some weapons, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just like You're talking about weapons. It's not like you're handing them like a knife and a pistol. It's like now we've got a Gatling gun, a rocket launcher, a couple sawed-off shotguns. It's like one of those action movies. He opens the trunk and it's like, holy crap! Look at this weaponry. So yeah, this is something that is good. We want to have your stud, blue chip, 5-star quarterback, guys to get the ball to.
So go ahead, Jeff.
Don't make me bust out sound effects, Mo. You're bringing up all these weapons. I don't want to start doing sound effects.
Oh, great.
I don't think the audience can handle it.
No.
Well, and then you pair that with Dana Holgorsen as well. Considered one of the best offensive minds in the game.
And he's been as good as advertised on this, like through these press conference deals. Like, I don't know if you saw how he kind of was kind of busting Daikel Short's balls a little bit about. Somebody asked him about Shorts and when did you know he was going to be a coach? He said when he ran a 4.7. And but then he went on to like compliment him and say, you know what, he started like 4 years for me and he's always working hard, blah blah blah, and had nothing but good things to say about him. You can tell there's a good relationship there between Holgorsen and Shorts.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a huge year out of the receiver room, guys.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited. Any final thoughts, boys?
It's going to be an awesome year. I'm really excited. I am really, really excited, guys. This episode just got me even more reinvigorated about the upcoming season. We're going to be really Hollywood, baby. Exactly right. Bomb play. Run the bomb play every time.
Run the bomb play every
time. Are you?
That's what Dana is saying into the headset too. All right, guys. Bomb play on two.
Look, we've said it ad nauseum, but if the offense can be like, I don't know, somewhere above average, like a top 50 in the country offense, like not even a top 10 or 20, just like a top 50 offense, and the defense can avoid a steep fall off, that's probably good for 3 more wins with the schedule, right? I mean,
get like 28, average like 28 points a game, and I think we'll be in pretty good shape.
Or just average like 45 points a game, and
or we could do that.
Yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
We'll do
all right, common fans. So go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we'll do it like Madden. No punting, no field goals. We're just hucking that thing on every play. It doesn't matter.
It's analytics. The situation is. Then just say it's analytics.
Screw's down there. Cortez is down there somewhere.
Yeah. The analytics said to go for it. All right, common fans. Hope you're soaking up all the spring ball content you can get. We're happy to help with that. We're gonna have some fun guests coming up soon. And man, we're powering through spring ball. We're already a week into spring ball. It's almost April. We're getting there. Folks. I can almost smell fall.
Yeah, we got baseball's started. It's going to be the Masters soon. Like we're moving along.
There's a smell. There's a smell in the air come like mid-August where like people are still cutting their grass. So it's like I envision it like it's cutting grass, but it starts to turn a little bit. I don't know. I can't explain it in words, but it starts to smell like fall. It starts to remind me of going to all the way back in midget football practice and then high school football practice. It starts to like just smell like football. Obviously we're still like 4.5 months away from that, but it's like we're getting there.
TJ, we don't say midget football anymore. It's Lincoln Youth football.
I didn't even know that. That's legitimately what it was called, people. Okay. That's what it was called.
You're going to be hearing from the board on this one.
The board is going to be very angry about this one. All right, common fans. Thanks for hanging with us. Hopefully the big red juices are sky high and flowing like the salmon of Capistrano after this episode. We will be back at you soon. In the meantime, as always, GBR for life.